Hello and welcome to the NDTV Dialogues, a conversation of ideas. This week, as we mark Children's Day, it's a time to move beyond platitudes and empty dialogues and look at the reality of how we treat the future of our country. Joining me on this special episode, I'm glad to welcome Nobel laureate Kailash Satyarthi. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us. Mr. Satyarthi has been fighting for the cause of children in India against all odds, quietly, away from the headlines. And with us today is an audience of children from different backgrounds, some lucky enough to go to some of Delhi's best schools, some who haven't even been to school. But they're all here today as young children to ask him questions along with me.
My pleasure.
Kailash Satyarthi, it was really, I think, a tragedy that many in India didn't know who you were, didn't know the work that you did, or that it was such a serious problem before you got the Nobel Peace Prize. Has anything changed beyond the headlines, beyond the individual fame? Has anything changed in terms of policy since you won the Nobel Peace Prize?
Well, I have no complaint or regret about it because I have been working for the cause of most invisible people, most marginalized. You can call them, in Gandhi's language, last person of Indian society. It is not an adult who is the last person, maybe poor, but the child, especially the girl who has been trafficked and sold and bought like animals and sometimes in lesser price than the animals, the girl who has been forced to work as child prostitute or child labor or child domestic help, she is the last person. So I have been working for the most invisible people. So if I remain invisible, it's obvious, it was common. Sometimes people like you and others used to call me for some TV shows or sometimes media, but I never cared for that.
Are these children still invisible?
They are still invisible, but definitely after the announcement of Nobel Peace Prize, there is much attention, there is much talk about it. We have to translate these talks and concerns into concrete actions. It will take some time, it is not going to happen overnight, but definitely there is much more interest on this issue through the media, in the public. I am getting hundreds, rather thousands of mails where the ordinary people are not just congratulating me, but they are expressing their willingness to join the cause against child labor and child servitude. So this is good sign. And even the children, many children are writing poems and sending me small letters, and I'm so happy, overwhelmed, because these are the, as I say, that children are our present, not future. So I'm working with the present.
So I have, as I said, many people of the present with me, but I'll start with the people you talked about, the invisible children who don't go to school. And I have Kishan, Aman, Vijay with me. Kishan, Aman, आप कुछ पूछना चाहेंगे? आप क्या कहेंगे? आप स्कूल नहीं जा रहे हैं, आप पूछिए कैलाश जी से, आपको क्या पूछना है?
सर, वो हम शादीनगर केंद्रीय विद्यालय में गए थे जब, तो हमें पहले भगाया गया, पहले बोले ड्रेस में आओ, फिर ड्रेस में आए तो फिर पेरेंट्स को बुलाए, फिर पेरेंट्स को लेके गए, फिर एडमिशन नहीं दिया उनने, बोले अब टाइम निकल गया जाओ।
तो ये बहुत दुख की बात है और ये अपराध है। भारत के कानून में ये अपराध हो गया है। अगर किसी बच्चे को कोई एडमिशन नहीं देता, बच्चे को भगाता है कोई भी शिक्षक कहीं भी या कोई भी मैनेजमेंट का आदमी, तो ये गलत है। और बहुत अच्छी बात है कि तुम्हारे अंदर एक आग है। तुम पढ़ना चाहते हो आगे?
यस सर।
क्या पढ़ना चाहते हो?
इंग्लिश, संस्कृत, साइंस,
सभी चीज़ें पढ़ना चाहते हो ना? बहुत बढ़िया। तो तुम पढ़ के क्या बनना चाहते हो? अगर तुमसे
सोचा नहीं सर।
अमन, अगर भगवान आ जाए, अल्लाह मियाँ आ जाए और तुमसे पूछे कि अमन लो, तुम्हें जो बनना है बनना चाहते हो, तो क्या बनना चाहोगे? क्या सपना होगा तुम्हारा?
इंजीनियर।
इंजीनियर? अरे मैं भी एक बार इंजीनियर बन गया था धोखे से। और लेकिन फायदा है, देखो इंजीनियर बनने का सबसे बड़ा फायदा ये है कि एक ना एक दिन आपको नोबेल प्राइज मिल सकता है। तो अच्छा रास्ता है।
If you leave engineering, फिर शायद।
लेकिन हमने अभी अपने साथियों को कहा है और बोल रहा हूं मैं, और जितने भी बच्चे यहाँ पर बैठे हैं जिनको स्कूल में दाखिला नहीं मिला है, मैं निवेदन करूंगा दिल्ली की सरकार से कि उनका दाखिला तुरंत करें, और अगर तब भी नहीं करते तो हम कोशिश करेंगे और हम तुम्हारे साथ तुम्हारे सपने में शामिल होना चाहेंगे।
विजय, आप बोलिए, जब आप स्कूल नहीं जा रहे हैं तो आप क्या कर रहे हैं?
मैं चाय की दुकान में काम करता था, फिर कपड़े की दुकान में काम करता था, फिर बैठा हुआ था घर में।
आप भी आगे पढ़ना चाहते हो? कुछ पढ़ाई करिए पहले
नहीं करी।
अगर सचमुच पढ़ना चाहते हो, कितने साल के हो गए हो? 14 के। तो अब 14 साल के थोड़े दिन बाद अगर सचमुच 14 के ऊपर के हो चुके हो तो कुछ पढ़ाई के साथ साथ काम धंधा भी सीख सकते हो। अगर तुम्हारी इच्छा इसमें है तो मैं तुम्हारी मदद करने तैयार हूं। अपने साथियों से मैं बोलता हूं, अभी यहाँ मौजूद हैं वो लोग, कि वो तुमसे ही संपर्क करेंगे और पूरी जानकारी लेके अगर तुम चाहते हो तो तुम्हारी मदद करेंगे। हम अपने आप से तो तुम पर नहीं थोपेंगे, लेकिन तुम्हारी जो इच्छा है उसमें हम लोग मदद कर सकते हैं।
Kailash ji, just this in some ways is also a lost generation. Children who are not at the age where they can join school, they're 12, 13, 14. And many ask their parents themselves, says, why can't these children work for us? We're from a poor family. What help will education give them? Let them contribute to the family income. Let them end poverty. This is something you very controversially contested, because you said making children work actually adds to poverty.
Well, first of all, we must know that we are living in a different age. Earlier, the power lies in land, power lies in arms, power lies in money. Now the power lies in knowledge and information. So we are living in the age of knowledge and information. And that cannot come without education and good quality education. So education is key to get rid of poverty. Education is key to become prosperous. Education is key to fight injustices and gender biases and so on. So education is key. So denial of education is a violence. It's a denial of human rights, but it's a violence in my opinion. As far as the scenario is concerned, look, 168 million children, means about 17 crore children are working in full-time jobs globally, whereas 200 million, करीब 20 crore, 20 crore adults are jobless. And there are many examples which prove that the children who are working in full-time jobs, perhaps they are working for more than 300, 400 days a year, because they work 12 hours, 14 hours a day. So they work more working days. Their parents remain jobless, and children are preferred because they are cheapest source of labor. Children are preferred because they cannot fight for their rights. They can sleep at the place where they are working and forced to work. So they are more vulnerable physically and mentally. So their vulnerability and poverty is further misused or manipulated by the vested interest, those who wanted, greedy employers, those who wanted to use cheap or free labor, and their parents remain jobless. So poverty, and there is a relation between poverty, child labor and illiteracy. It's like chicken and egg relationship. Poverty and child labor. Poverty or illiteracy, both are interlinked. Poverty and child labor, both are interlinked. Illiteracy and child labor. So there is a triangular relationship. Each one of them is cause and consequence of other, and that's why it goes on.
How do you change the mindset, but Kailash, which sees children working as acceptable in some sense, where it says that if I keep a child working in my house, at least he's not starving in his own home. If I bring him from Jharkhand to Delhi, I am giving him a better life. Or people who say that it's acceptable in India, these are Western concepts, that child labor is not all right. What is wrong if a child is making carpets at home? How do you answer those who say that this is acceptable in India?
I tell you, if you go through the history of apartheid, when some people started fighting apartheid in Africa, the simple allegation was that it's a Western mindset. It is not the local thing. When the women stood up in the world about 50 years ago, 60 years ago, and they said we have equal rights in the world, not only in the east or west or south or north, everywhere the women wanted to acquire power. People said this is the Western concept, this is not the thing. ये तो हमारे यहाँ तो देवी है, इंडिया में तो देवी है, भले ही उसका कितना ही exploitation करो. But women stood up against all odds, and they demanded their position in the society, equal position, equality. And that has happened, and that is happening. I won't say that it's completely done. So is the case of children. Children are considered either pitiable, miserable, give them some money, give them some alms, थोड़ा उनको दान दे दो, कुछ दे दो, and feel yourself very big, good, great person because you are donor and they are recipient. So your hand is always up and their hands are down, and you are very happy walking on the roads and going to temples inside or outside of temples or mosque. You put some money in the hands of those children. This is ill mindset, I would say. Another ill mindset is that we exploit children because they are cheap labor. We exploit children because their bodies can easily misused for anything. Their minds could also be ruined and their souls could be ruined, and that is happening every day, every other day in India and globally also. And the third mindset is about our own children. We make them happy. We do everything to pamper them. We don't spend time. We are not friendly with them, but we are pampering them with ice creams and chocolates and pizzas and burgers. But we don't have time to talk to them and share with them as friends. This is not justified. We have to think and work for a new culture, a new mindset, where the children are our friends. Children have their rights. Children have their dignity. We have to interact with the children with sense of dignity and trust with them, not we know everything as adults and children don't know. हमारे यहाँ तो अगर बड़ा आदमी भी कुछ छोटी मोटी गलती कर दे तो उसको कहते हैं बचपना कर रहा है. बचपना मीन्स फूलिशनेस. अरे बचपना तो सिंप्लिसिटी है, बचपना तो पावर है, बचपना तो पोटेंशियल है, और हम सोचते हैं बचपना मीन्स फूलिशनेस. वी हैव टू चेंज दिस माइंडसेट एंड I am fighting for that. Are you prepared to fight against that mindset?
Let me take some questions now. We have Faisal from Anmol Education School. Faisal, what is your question? आप Faisal हो? Faisal, आप प्रश्न पूछिए.
My name is Faisal Khan. हम अनमोल चैरिटी से आए हैं और हमारा स्कूल बहुत छोटा है. हमें पूरी सुविधा नहीं मिल पाती कि हम अच्छे प्लेग्राउंड में खेलें और हम बस में जाएं, और हम कोई दूसरे स्कूल में नाम लिखवाने जाते हैं तो बोलते हैं कि टीसी दो, और फिर मना कर देते हैं कि तुम्हारा एडमिशन नहीं होएगा.
तो फैसल जी, आपकी बात अब पूरा हिंदुस्तान सुन रहा है, दिल्ली भी सुन रही है, दिल्ली की सरकार भी सुन रही है जो आप बोल रहे हो, और मैं ये भरोसा करता हूं कि जो लोग आपकी बात सुन रहे हैं वो इसको एक चुनौती की तरह मानेंगे. जिनके हाथ में ताकत है, जिनके हाथ में पैसा है, सरकारें हैं, उन लोगों को आपकी बात सुननी चाहिए. आप अपनी आवाज़ को बंद मत होने दो. जो आप आज कह रहे हो बार बार कहो, सब लोग कहें यही बात, और हम आपकी आवाज़ के साथ अपनी आवाज़ मिलाते हैं.
Why does the current atmosphere of previous governments, of the administration system, make it so difficult for children to get what is in a sense their fundamental right? Because interestingly, the Women and Child Welfare Ministry is never seen as a politically important ministry. In fact, it's never given to top politicians. It's always given to a woman leader. There's always some hesitation. You had come on an NDTV show when there was a child who had died in a factory in the heart of Delhi. And the minister said, oh, there's no child labor in Delhi. And you said, madam, please come tomorrow. I will take you and show you the factory where there is child labor under the Delhi police's nose, under the central government's nose. We have a new government. You met Mr. Modi. He congratulated you very warmly after the Nobel Peace Prize. Politically, will anything change? Because around us in Delhi, the heart of government, we see laws being violated every day. We see children working on the streets.
As I said before, that it is not going to change overnight, but the warmth, the openness which I found in the Prime Minister is commendable, and I have a lot of hope in him and his government. It's new, but we will interact in the future also, and we will see that how we can see the concrete results on ground. So on one hand, we cannot expect everything from the government. But on the other hand, governments have to have good laws, they have to implement the laws, that is their responsibility. But the society as a whole should work towards creating a culture of child rights.
A similar movement like the Swachh Bharat Mission, would you like to see something like that happen for child labor?
I have, when I met the Prime Minister, I said that definitely we all want to see India as a proud India, prosperous India, clean India. But that will remain sustained when we also have another component, what we call the child-friendly India. So it should be proud India, prosperous India, clean India, and child-friendly India. So let's see.
Let's see. We have Swarit also. Swarit, to ask a question. Swarit, go ahead with your question.
So, as ma'am said, your winning the Nobel Peace Prize has given a huge boost to your cause. And till a few years back, all state governments and the Indian government did not, I mean, as you said, regarded you as a nuisance. But now you're getting...
Are you still a
No, you
nuisance?
can. She has answered the question herself that
Right.
she invited me and the then Union Minister of Children and Women, something like that. And I requested her, I did not challenge, I requested her to come with me and see that the children are dying every day in Delhi. She did not turn up. Of course, she accepted that time,
Yes.
but she did not come next day. But what do you believe from a minister? She will tell you next time that if you invite Kailash, I will never come, or my officers will never come. So that is the problem.
So, sir, now that you've got recognition from the government as well as global recognition, where do you hope to take your movement from here, and what more do you think needs to be done to make this even bigger than it is right now?
And did you feel sad that you never got recognition from the Indian government? Actually, Mrs. Priyanti has never got recognition from the Indian government, but he's got recognition
neither from the Indian
Nobel,
society.
from the Nobel Peace Prize. So did you ever feel that now that it's a bit ironic?
Not really. I always believe in my work. I always believe in the people, but most important are children and youth like yourself. I trust them, I believe them, I work with them, and they love me. Wherever I go in India, when I meet, I tell you, wherever I meet children and youth like you, for the first time they will become my friend forever. And that is my country, that's my nation, that is my constituency, I work with them. So it is not because of Nobel Peace Prize, it has been happening for last 34 years. So that is not, but as far as your question is concerned, let me tell you that I am a very ordinary person. My father was a very ordinary police constable. My mother was illiterate. My father died at a very early age. So my mother was a widow. But she had a dream that her child becomes an engineer and I became an engineer. She had to sell out her ornaments. My brothers also helped me in my studies. So I am very ordinary in that sense, and that is very deep in my heart and soul. So I feel, and I have been telling it all the time, that this Nobel Prize, the first Desi Indian born Desi Khanti Indian got the Nobel Peace Prize in the history, it's a prize to each one of you. If you don't feel the pride, I would not be happy, I tell you. Every Indian and every child in the world, every activist who are fighting for the rights of children anywhere in the world, Africa, Latin America, Asia, must feel pride that it's the pride and it's prize for them. So it becomes bigger moral responsibility. If you are happy with that pride, are you happy with that pride? Yes. Sure. Are you feeling pride? Yes, sir. Then it is much more bigger moral responsibility. I tell you that I am overwhelmed. मैं दबा जा रहा हूँ इस moral responsibility से. और मैं आप लोगों से दोस्त मैंने आपको बनाया है. आपसे मैं ये अपील कर रहा हूँ कि मेरी ऊपर ये जो वजन है नैतिक responsibility का, ये आप शेयर करने तैयार हो? झूठ मत बोलना मेरे सामने. सच्ची, मेरा नाम ही सत्यार्थी है. मैं उसका अर्थ निकाल लूंगा जो बोलोगे. सचमुच कुछ करोगे बच्चों के लिए? शेयर कर रहे हो मेरा बर्डन? कौन कौन करेगा? हाथ ऊपर करो, हाथ ऊपर करो सच्ची दिल से.
In fact, Kailash, that's a very important point, because you have talked about how society must change. Governments can't do this, politicians can't do this, but you can talk about what children and what the present, what people must do who are watching this program, and how to actually eradicate child labor. Everybody may not become an activist and go to mines, but how can an average person change the mindset or make their own contribution towards ending child labor?
I reiterate that I am also an ordinary person. So I have been going to mines and factories, an ordinary person, not as a government officer, not as a policeman, but I used to go as a very simple person, ordinary person. So, but first of all, the youth and the people must start thinking for other children who may not be their biological children, but the children in the neighborhood, children in the vicinity, community. And these children who are not known to us, not known to me, let you begin thinking that how are you going to make that child smile who is unknown to you so far? That is the beginning of a new personality in anyone who does it like that. When you're passing through the road, smile, give a smile to a child who is unknown to you. You are making the world more full of smile and a better world for children. And then many other things, like many of you are on Facebook, many of you must be on Twitter, many of you now, at least from these two schools, many of you must be in social media. You have some connect. Delhi is going to have elections. Ask all your politicians, whosoever from any party, that what are you going to do for children? Tell me what budget you will put for the children in Delhi, for their education, for their health. What are you going to make sure that none of these 3 children have to ever complain that they are not admitted in school? Ask this question. You have listened to these questions? Write on your Facebook. Not about Kailash Satyarthi. Kailash Satyarthi will be in you if you start asking these questions to all your politicians, to all your religious people, to all your friends and colleagues and parents. That will begin. So anyone in Delhi or anyone in the country, start having concern for other children, action for other children, raise the voice, break the silence. Politicians, businesses, if you are passing through a restaurant and you see that there is a child, young child is working, like he has been working before, then you should politely tell to that restaurant owner or tea shop owner that I'm not going to have a cup of tea at your place. This is my personal contribution. And tell with some courage, show some courage, and tell that if you are not going to employ an adult person in place of that child, we are not going to drink here. So is with the child domestic labor. If you see that somebody is hiring, somebody is using a child domestic labor at home, that could be your own friends, that could be your own family members, politely tell them, no, I'm not going to touch a glass of water in those houses where a child domestic labor is languishing. In modern day slavery. This is a modern day slavery. This is not something mercy to that child, but it's just robbing of their childhood and education opportunities and so on. So say something. Connect yourself with the children whom you don't know. Then you will make a child-friendly India and child-friendly world. So action are needed. कितने हैं आपके पास फ्रेंड? 6. तो अगर आप 7 कर दोगी तो कैसा लगेगा?
अच्छा लगेगा।
तो मैं 7th हूँ आपके लिए। कैलाश जी नोबेल प्राइज मेरे फोन पे। तो मैंने सोचा कि किसी को नोबेल प्राइज मिला होगा, कमेंट करने के लिए मीडिया वाले मुझे फोन करते हैं कि ये दुर्घटना तो मेरे साथ हुई है।
When you had actually started Rugmark, that's the time I think you faced the most opposition, because we were talking also about corporate support, because we've seen that corporates could have such a huge role to play in this and sustaining children and making sure that fair wages are paid to adults. When Rugmark had come out, that was seen as, they said that this is part of a Western agenda to attack the Indian carpet industry. Why do we not see similar labels actually coming up on Indian goods, whether it's crackers, whether it's any other thing where we've seen child labor could be involved? Why has that not happened in India yet?
It has happened actually. Indian government and some of the Indian industry groups also introduced some labels that time also. But labeling is not the only solution, I would say. It can give the choice to the consumers anywhere in the world, in India or anywhere in Delhi. They can differentiate that this particular thing is free of child labor. But you're right that time people have a lot of fear and apprehensions and doubts about my work and a lot of allegations on me as well. But can they answer now that why Government of India, the Indian Parliament has introduced a law that is called the Law on Corporate Social Responsibility? I am a person who could see much beyond that. I could see 25, 30 years ago that there would be something like corporate social responsibility when this phrase was not yet invented. The phrase was not yet coined, but I was doing something in practice that corporations also have some moral and ethical responsibility towards the producers, to the people, to the consumers. That was a philosophy which I translated in action, and now it is taught in the universities in many countries in the world, but
Indian universities will catch up with it, we hope. We hope. I'm glad you laughed. Let me have another question. Rosie, रोजी आप प्रश्न पूछिए. आप अभी आपने स्कूल ज्वाइन किया ना, आप प्रश्न पूछिए. आपने स्कूल कब ज्वाइन किया?
मैं वैसे फर्स्ट क्लास से पढ़ती हूँ वैसे.
अच्छा.
और मैं चाहती हूँ कि मेरा एडमिशन गवर्नमेंट स्कूल में हो.
अच्छा.
और मैं कुछ बड़े होकर कुछ बनना चाहूँ, लेकिन माँ पापा के पास इतने पैसे नहीं हैं.
कितने हैं आपके पास फ्रेंड?
6.
तो अगर आप 7 कर दोगी तो कैसा लगेगा?
अच्छा लगेगा.
तो मैं 7th हूं आपके लिए. मैं एक चीज और बता दूं रोजी को. रोजी, मैं इसलिए पूछ रहा हूं ये कि मैं जब पहली बार अपने स्कूल गया, जब मैं 5-6 साल का था, तो विदिशा में पैदा हुआ, एक छोटी जगह है मध्य प्रदेश में, तो सरकारी स्कूल था. और जब मैं स्कूल की सीढ़ियां चढ़ने को था पहले दिन, बिल्कुल पहले दिन, तो मुझे दरवाजे पर एक बच्चा मेरी उम्र का जूतों पे पॉलिश करता हुआ, जूते साफ करता हुआ मिला. उसके पिताजी के साथ वो दोनों कर रहे थे. मुझे बड़ा झटका सा लगा, बड़ा बुरा लगा. मैं जब अंदर घुसा तो मैंने अपने शिक्षक से पूछा, टीचर से पूछा कि सर ये बच्चा बाहर क्यों बैठा है, हम लोग स्कूल के अंदर क्यों हैं? तो टीचर को बड़ा अटपटा लगा और हेडमास्टर साहब को भी अटपटा लगा. उन्होंने कहा दोस्त बनाओ नए, ये क्या है तरीका? ऐसे आज भी कहते हैं लोग, ये तो 50-55 साल पुरानी बात. तो मुझे समझ में नहीं आया. मैंने अपने घर वालों से पूछा, सबने कहा अरे ये तो आम बात है, गरीब के बच्चे हैं, काम कर रहे हैं, क्या इसमें नया, ये तो आम बात है. सब ने यही कहा. फिर मैंने रोज हिम्मत करी. देखो हिम्मत का कितना फायदा है. मैंने रोज हिम्मत करी और एक दिन 10-15 दिन बाद मैंने उस बच्चे के पिता के पास चला गया. स्कूल से लौटते वक्त धीरे धीरे गया. सोचो मैं भी 5-6 साल का था. मैंने कहा कि बाबूजी आप अपने बच्चे को स्कूल क्यों नहीं भेजते? तो वो इतना चौंके, बोले नहीं बाबूजी तो आप हैं, क्योंकि गरीब आदमी हमें बाबूजी कह रहा है. तो बोले बाबूजी तो आप हैं, हमारे तो दादा परदादा पिताजी सब बचपन से काम करते थे और मेरा बेटा कर रहा है, कोई नई बात नहीं. तो मेरे मन में कुछ आया नहीं जवाब. फिर वो बोले कि जो दूसरी बात वो बोले कि बाबूजी आप जानते नहीं हैं, हम तो काम करने के लिए पैदा हुए हैं. सो दिस cobbler gentleman replied me that look, we are born to work. And that made me very angry inside. I was not frustrated. I was in pain, but my pain and compassion has turned out to be an anger, that why some people are born to work. कुछ लोग काम करने के लिए पैदा क्यों होते हैं और हम जैसे लोग स्कूल जाके बड़े बड़े सपने देखने के लिए पैदा क्यों होते हैं. That was the very first day of my schooling, which begins with a question, and I am struggling to find answer and solution to that problem, because I believe that there is no problem in the world which is unsolvable. Every problem has an answer in itself. We have to dig it out and fight for it and achieve it.
In fact, I'd like to throw that open even to the children here. A lot of you all are very lucky to go to good schools. When you all see children working on the road, do you all feel that there's something you can do about it? What do you all feel when you all see children working on the road or not going to school? Anyone, I mean, if anyone has an answer, what do you all think about it?
आप बताओ बेटा. बहुत बढ़िया. क्या नाम है आपका?
पावनी. जब हम लोग देखते हैं कि बच्चे या फिर टी स्टॉल्स पे या फिर रोड पे हैं, तो once or twice मैंने उनसे इंटरैक्ट किया है, बात करने की कोशिश की है, and we've also observed that some of them don't want to go to school because या फिर उनकी experience in school hasn't been that pleasant, or people are giving them money every day so that they're thriving on that money. So I've noticed that I've told them कि मैं आओ चलो मैं आपको help कर सकती हूँ, आपको किसी स्कूल में भर्ती करा सकती हूँ, but they said नहीं, thank you, हम यहाँ पे ही सही हैं. So that's what I don't like, and that's what I have a little question to you as well, that what do you think we can do as children who are better off, as children who have the resources, what do you think we can do to get them, encourage them, or probably tell them somewhere that yes, you know, education is what is important for you as well?
Very good question, very good, Pavati. And I applaud your concern and your initiative which you tried to do. What we can definitely do, that you might be having some friends, 2, 3, 4, make a small group. That has happened in many places, so I'm not giving you any advice which is not untested, it is done. So a group of young people like you, bright young people, can know more about that child. It cannot happen in one go because these children don't have choice. They don't have alternate. They are born and grew up in a situation where they are kept in a box. Their minds are in box. They cannot think more than that. I have answered partly in the first part of my life, the first day, that the father and son, they might be thinking they are born to work because they don't have any choice. The choice has not been given to them. So you are giving a choice for the first time which is not digestible for them, that is not comprehensible for them. So if you go 1, 2, 3 times and try to know what is the family background, if you can also manage to go to the family of that child and talk to the mother, talk to the father, and see that what else could be done. If you are able to convince that schooling is free nowadays, the midday meal is free nowadays, if the child belongs to below poverty line or certain caste, or the child is a girl child, then there are many schemes of the government and central and state government both. So you can try to work with that. But you should have some idea about it, that how are you going to convince the parents and giving them some better alternate to the children. So that is very much possible. I will give you an example. We work in about several hundred villages in India, and in those villages, school-going children form such groups, and they are knocking the doors of those people every morning who are unable to send their children to schools, but the children must be working in fields and farm and looking after animals and so on. So these young groups, what we call बाल पंचायत, the बाल पंचायतों ने जगह जगह जाके लोगों को कन्विंस किया, और वो बहुत अपने आप में लीडर हैं और वो आइकन्स हैं. तो तुम्हारे अंदर तो ऑलरेडी एक हीरो है, सच कह रहा हूं मैं. अगर तुम्हारे अंदर वो हीरो नहीं होता, हीरोइन ना होती, तो तुम ये करती नहीं. उसको थोड़ा और बड़ा करो. इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि तुम्हारे फैन और फॉलोअर्स बढ़ा लो, क्लिक्स बढ़ाओ, टीम मेट्स बढ़ाओ और जाके इसको आखिरी तक ले जाओ. जो चीज शुरू करिए उसको बीच में मत रोको. अगर तुम्हारे अंदर इतना बढ़िया कंपैशन है, इतना कंसर्न है, इट्स वेरी स्पेशल. दिस इज एन स्पार्क. डोंट लेट इट डाई. ठीक है, करोगी? करोगे कि नहीं, मुझे ये बताओ.
Yes, sir, I'll try my level best.
Is there a lack of faith in these laws? The right to education says it is over 90% enrollment. But you and I and everybody, I think, can testify how many children we still see out of school. Is there a lack of faith in implementation of these laws? What's the point of a law which can't be implemented?
Well, laws, sometimes I say, are like weapons or tools. But if you have to use those weapons, you have to have hands, you have to have heart, you have to have mind, you have to have action to use those weapons, and you have to have a strategy. So that is needed. So laws will remain on paper, and people will keep on having conferences and meetings and discussions on laws. So there are many avenues where the people can make their career and their living out of discussion about the laws. I'm not the one. I wanted to use always, any law in favor of children must be used as weapon to fight. That's why I appeal everyone that law should not remain the pieces of paper or the discussion subjects. It should be used by everyone. We must know some basic understanding, basic knowledge about our legal rights, and we have to fight for it. And only then it will work. So the operative part of the law will be successful only when the people are conscious, people are aware, people are active. So there is some sort of moral responsibility of society as well. So we cannot simply leave everything on the government and the enforcement agencies.
But when you see that in the winter session, the discussion is, will the insurance bill be passed? Will the pension bill be passed? Will GST bill be passed? Do you ever ask that, what about the Child Labour Abolition Act? When is that being passed? Where's the voice, or where is the media pressure for that?
We are all born as children. but the children are still lagging behind, and their issues are lagging behind. So sometimes the issues which are good for the adults, they are put on the forefront in the society, in the politics, everywhere. But the issues of children remain in the back. And that's why our fight is that we have to create a culture of children first. Child-centric politics, child-centric economy, child-centric religions, child-centric society, where the best interest of a child remain in nucleus and rest of the things would revolve it. And it's possible.
And today's child is going to vote at 18, so quite soon, so you'll have to remember that when you'll vote.
Yeah, some of you must be 18 or will become 18 soon, so get ready for it. But when you become 18, suddenly you started thinking that you are an adult person of 60-year-old, or you started thinking on those terms. You should remain connected with the children and the issues of childhood and their protection.
And of course, interesting, this year's Nobel Peace Prize was shared by you and a young girl, Malala. And the same thing, we've seen that the Pakistan Private Schools Association has said that Malala is not welcome there. You also were not welcome in many places. Do you think both of you will have to fight more to be acceptable to your own societies?
I will never fight for my acceptability. I never fought in the past. Because my acceptability lied in the youth and children like them. If they accept me as friend, as brother, I'm more than happy. ठीक है कि नहीं है? अगर आप मुझे दोस्त मानते हो तो मुझे और एक्सेप्टेबिलिटी क्या जरूरत है कोई जरूरत?
आपको गवर्नमेंट सेमिनार, गवर्नमेंट अवार्ड नहीं चाहिए?
नहीं, मुझे भैया कोई कुछ देगा, और सबसे ज्यादा मुझे बच्चों की मोहब्बत चाहिए, प्यार चाहिए। क्योंकि मुझे लगता है कि एक पुराना शेर है कि वतन की रेत मुझे एड़ियां रगड़ने दे, वतन की रेत मुझे एड़ियां रगड़ने दे, मुझे यकीन है कि पानी यहीं से निकलेगा। और वतन की रेत ये बच्चे बने हुए हैं, मुझे लगता है कि यहीं से सब होगा। मैं आ जाऊं आपके पास भाई? किसके पास आऊं, यहाँ के वहां? आप सवाल मेरे से पूछे थे, आपके पास ही आ जाता हूं। चलिए, तो ये पूछ रहे थे कि आपको कैसा लगा जब आपको नोबेल पीस प्राइज की घोषणा हुई। तो मुझे तो अंदाज भी नहीं था, इतनी बड़ी चीज, भारी चीज। दैट डे आई वाज वर्किंग इन माय ऑफिस, मैं अपने ऑफिस में काम कर रहा था। एक अपने लिए सस्ती टिकट ढूंढ रहा था। जर्मनी में मुझे बुलाया गया था किसी काम के लिए, तो मेरे पास एक टिकट का कोटेशन भेजा उसने, हमारे ट्रेवल एजेंट ने। लेकिन मैं इस चक्कर में था कि उससे भी सस्ता मिल सकता है, तो मैं अपना cheapticket.com, yatra.com, makeMyTrip.com इस सब में देख रहा था। अचानक किसी आपकी बिरादरी के किसी पत्रकार की घंटी बजी और उन्होंने कहा, कैलाश जी नोबेल प्राइज, मेरे फोन पे। तो मैंने सोचा कि मुझे तो पता नहीं था कि उस दिन नोबेल पीस प्राइज डिक्लेयर होता है। तो मैंने सोचा कि किसी को नोबेल प्राइज मिला होगा और कभी ना कभी कमेंट करने के लिए मीडिया वाले मुझे फोन करते हैं, तो ये कर सकती हैं ना मैडम फोन कभी, कैलाश जी आपकी क्या राय है इस पर? तो मैं अपनी राय, अच्छा मैं राय भी बड़ी, मुझे जब तक पता ना हो किसी चीज के बारे में, बचपन से मेरी आदत है ना, क्योंकि मैं ना तो राजनीतिक हूं ना कोई धार्मिक नेता हूं कि हर विषय पे अपनी राय दे सकूं। उनके पास तो सब चीज का है ना जवाब, मेरे पास तो जवाब नहीं है। तो मैं जब तक पढ़ लिख ना लूं मैं कैसे जवाब दूं? तो मैंने उसको छोड़कर और जल्दी से गूगल में दूसरी चीज टाइप की, नोबेल पीस प्राइज 2014, तो आया नहीं उसमें, क्योंकि 2013 के चले आ रहे थे और मैं अपना स्ट्रगल कर रहा था कि ये गूगल से ज्यादा तो पत्रकार जानते हैं, भारत के बहुत तेज हैं। तो हमने उसको ढूंढना शुरू किया, बार बार मैं कर रहा हूँ स्ट्रगल, और वो बेचारा चिल्लाया जा रहा है। उसने थोड़ा सा आगे बढ़ के कहना चाहिए थी कि कैलाश जी आपको प्राइज मिला है, तो मैं थोड़ा फोन उठा लेता। तो वो कह रहा, अरे सुनिए तो सही, अरे आप मेरी बात सुनिए, आप क्या कहाँ चले गए आप? मैं वहां रखे हुए ढूंढ रहा हूँ कि मुझे जानकारी हो जाए कि किसको मिला है, तब मैं अपना कमेंट करूं। तो इसी बीच में वो मेरे साथी लोग ये सब हैं बैठे हुए, ओम प्रकाश वगैरह, ये सब आ गए दौड़ दाड़ के, राकेश सेंगर, और रो रहे हैं, चीख रहे हैं, खुशी के मारे नाच रहे हैं, अरे भाई साहब जी मुझसे चिपट रहे हैं। तब समझा मैं कि ये दुर्घटना तो मेरे साथ हुई है।
I think on behalf of everybody we have to say धन्यवाद, थैंक यू कि आपने इतना टाइम स्पेयर किया हमारे लिए। और आपने कहा कि आप नेता नहीं है पर आप बच्चों का नेता तो है ही, तो थैंक यू वेरी मच।
एक अमन ये है
और एक उन्होंने अमन का पुरस्कार दे दिया मुझे। ये सबसे छोटी है, इधर आओ। क्या नाम है? ताली बजाओ भाई, मुंशी